3 times each of those days. You ready? 9:30 in the morning, 2:30 in the afternoon, and 9:30 in the evening. Monday, January 27th, our final showing of this triangular meet between Pontiac Central, Midland, and H.H. Dow. January 27th, 7 p.m. That's a Monday. Make sure to set your VCR to catch all of the action, as MCTV cannot make a copy for you. Weldu is back and working hard, looking to see if there's any light. Matt Eckerly, and there's a bridge, Rand.
That's a bridge. Ooh,
and he pops out of it. Eckerly, there's Coach Rick Berger hollering at his man who's down and just did a major bridge to get out of that one. Watching the clock, and
Eckerly's pretty aggressive, a little over aggressive. That's why he's getting in trouble on that one, but good potential in him.
A shot from up top, right over top. Eckerly still trying to work his way out of it. Markey's not letting go. 30 seconds remaining, second period in the 145-pound weight class. A whistle, a stalemate, they'll bring him back to center ice. Oh, center ice, I'm thinking next Wednesday. We got that hockey thing. Trying to make that move. You're going, aren't you, Bob?
No, no,
huh? You're gonna stay right here.
A little warmer in here. Could play hockey out in the streets right now, it looks like.
Is it snowing hard, is it?
It's coming down.
What night are we doing this? We're doing this Thursday night, right?
Thursday
the 23rd.
Night, so when they call me up and want me to work overtime tonight, they'll know where I'm at.
I saw you out plowing the street the other night. Thanks for honking your horn at me.
Get those trucks in the way.
Vehicles, buddy.
Oh, vehicles. But it was American made.
15 seconds, second period. That's the time remaining. 9-3, and who you see on top has the 9. That's Steve Markey. He's just a sophomore. He's wrestling Matt Eckerly from Dow High, and nearly fatal was Matt Eckerly battling off the final few seconds of that second period. And this time, Matt's going to see the top of this mound for the first time in a long time. Markey's been working on top almost all of the second period and about at least half of that first period. Eckerly on top, Markey on the bottom. Markey explodes, trying to escape, gets his feet right away. Eckerly, is he going to try to take him down with his head or take him down with his muscle? It was one of the comments you can see in the foreground, in the background there of the picture. The coach from Dow High, Rick Berger, says that a lot of his youngsters have awesome strength. They're physical specimens, great athletes, but they think that you can go in and muscle it, and that's not the case. You need to finesse them a little bit and use some of the holds, and an escape has now been awarded to Markey. He's up by 7 points. It's 10-3 with a minute 20 to wrestle in the match at 145 pounds. Markey trying to lift and carry. Eckerly's only hope is to hang on to an ankle and pull it and try to twist it. Coach Berger in the foreground. That's how close they are. That's as close as he'll get. Come around this way.
Without getting a point. He can get closer, but they award the other team a point.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Oh.
Not worth the information you're trying to share with your wrestler. He's got one leg tucked. The right leg of Markey high in the air, left leg.
Lift her up just a little higher, he had him.
And a cross face.
Good move.
And he was able to tie up the back foot. Now he's going to try to work it around and grab a head. MCTV volunteer. No, good golly, that's paid work right there.
Is that paid work?
Yes, it was.
Who's in trouble here?
Right here, that's Eckerly. Both are nearing a move. Markey's like semi-cradled, but on top. Go figure. With 12, 11, 10, 9 seconds remaining in the match. Markey from Midland High, he leads at 10-5, 3, 2, 1. He nearly came from that. You're absolutely right, Rand.
I didn't know which body part belonged to who there for a minute.
Oh, Tell you what, you bring 3 or 4 cameras to an event like this, and you still can't get close enough to see whose toes who. The winner, sophomore Steve Markey from the Chemics. In a good battle in a 10-5 tally by Matt Eckerly from Dow High.
Chris McManus for Midland, Jake Wilberding.
Jake Wilberding, what, he's 20-2, 152 pounds. They were having little introductions here earlier tonight and said he'll make 100 wins in 3 years, and that's pretty remarkable. You get 100 wins in 3 years of varsity sports. That means you got to, you know, win 33 matches a year.
That's a lot of, yeah, because even some of the people you're trying to beat, if you can get 100, a lot of those guys have 4 years wrestling experience at the high school level.
Right.
Wilberding, he's a senior. He's taking on Dow High's Chris McManus.
Said some national things. Get 100 wins, they'll send you a national letter, national trophy.
This win is a pin. Jake Wilberding, in 40 seconds into the match, has pinned Chris McManus, a pair of seniors, and that young man is one to watch for, says our Randy Boynton. Goes over and congratulates Coach Berger of Dow High.
Well, he's been here for 2 matches. I don't think he's got a minute into the week, into the wrestling tonight. Oh, Jake pinned the kid from Pontiac pretty quick. That wasn't hardly worth the 16 hours he had to work out to make weight.
That's going to move us to the 160-pound weight class. On your right, in the blue and gold, now working his way to your left, for Midland High anyhow, is Harry Pellis. Pellis is a senior. He'll take on junior H.H. Dow Charger wrestler Steve Hill at 160 pounds for Dow High. Up in the air he goes.
Gonna walk him down lightly. You can't throw him down.
Thus, that's been done. Steve Hill has Harry Pellis wrapped up
in trouble.
Big time. And there's a minute 20 to go. And Pellis works his way out of a battling situation because there's plenty of period left. If you spend the whole first period trying to defense out of a cradle that was that close, he got out of that relatively early. Pellis
still working on him.
Working underneath, and Steve Hill continues to not give him much slack to work from. Hill going for legs, keeps the hands moving. If he can't find a handle there, he's going to go.
Getting up too high on him now.
He'll spread out, and Pellis trying to grab a leg to get himself up to his feet. He does. Hill now grabs onto Pellis's left leg and tries to draw it within. Again, notice the youngsters cannot intertwine fingers to make the locked hand. They can go wrist to wrist or cup it. Stalemate's been called.
Well, that's on the neck basically, Dale. I think you can lock hands on the leg.
Okay.
The basic one you can't lock on is on the head. Remember Bobo Brazil and the camel clutch or whatever it was?
That was the Sheik.
Oh.
Bobo was the cocoa butt.
Oh, okay.
Remember? You know what's scary is we remember the Sheik, Bull Curry, and Bobo Brazil. And I have no idea why this is going this direction, but I think what's important is our kids know Jake the Snake, the Hulkster, and Rowdy Roddy. So where has that sport gone? Right down the tubes. You're absolutely right. Only in America, folks. Second period just underway after one period has been completed. It's 5-0, and Steve Hill, who's continuing to work on top here to begin the second period, leading Harry Pellis. Pellis is a senior, Hill is a junior. Hill has one arm. He's going to try to bring it right back between the legs of Pellis. And Steve continues to work it.
Working hard on him.
You want us to stand now, Bob?
Okay, we don't.
Where's our sign?
Got to put our sign up and down here so we know.
This is Hill continuing, and I'll tell you what, and we spoke about it in some earlier matches, there's going to be
a reverse,
at least an escape.
Almost an arm snap.
It was a reversal. That's going to be awarded to Pellis. He comes out from underneath. He's on the board. That closes the margin of Hill's lead. It is now 5-2 with just over a minute to wrestle here in the second period. And now Pellis is in a position he's not been most of the night, and that's on top. Working on top. Our team score 35-10. The Chemics lead it. Both teams have wrestled yet another match this evening. It was a triangular meet. Pontiac Central, the Chiefs came to town, and they owned the Chargers 51-19. Then they met the Chemics. The Chemics walked away with that one 59-12, and now the Chemics and the Chargers in our final matches duel now of the night. We've seen 3 varsity matches and an extensive match that had been some exhibition with some youngsters to start tonight. 2-1 second period's history. That's what the cookie's about, Rand. I think Dow is green, Midland is red. They flip the cookie to see who gets choice per period, and then they can defer, huh? You think?
Yeah.
If you don't think that's what it is, share it with me.
I don't know what it does at the beginning, you know, at the beginning of the match, whether they start off 103 pounds, get the first choice, and then it works its way back and forth, or what. They used to just flip it all the time and get your choice.
Okay. An illegal hold had been called. We'll start it over again. A point awarded to Hill. He now has a 6-2 lead with a minute 45 to wrestle in the match here at 160 pounds. Pellis working on top for Midland High. Hill, and he's going to try to escape and reverse, and he couldn't quite turn it.
Double switch.
Pellis kept what little bit of a hand he could. Go ahead, Ray.
Pellis has got to get him on his back. He needs 4 points, so he's going to have to flip him over a couple times here. Go for the pin. Or hurry up and let him go and throw him back down a couple times to catch back up.
They work themselves out of the circle and nearly off from the mat. That'll start them up. Pellis can tie up his wrestling shoe.
Got to do that once in a while when you want to breathe again. Bob looks kind of casual with like 3 headsets on, don't you?
must be winter out. He's actually taking the cords of those, putting them in his pocket. He's wearing them home, Rand. Go ahead, share it with us.
I'm just getting ready for hockey.
For hockey?
For the hockey?
You heard center ice before, and I saw you light right up. Our award-winning producer, as always, Bob Grenster, bringing it to you. We brought 4 cameras down tonight here to Midland High School. Bob will go over the volunteers. 3. Well, you had one earlier, and there's camcorder running around. There are at least 7 cameras in the school gymnasium. 4 of them, however, belong to individuals bringing them from home. But yeah, we'll be over at the Civic Arena next Wednesday night doing hockey.
Tough match here. They're going back and forth.
You taking the instant replay over there again?
He shoots, he scores.
Executive Director Ron Brown, MCTV staff, personnel. He's talking with cameraman Cuthbert. 10 seconds in the match. 7-2. Steve Hill of Dow High School leads it. That's Harry Pellis grinding and grabbing for everything he can get. Not enough. Pellis in a good showing spent most of the first and much of the second period defensing the part of Steve Hill from Dow High. Hill wins it on points, but Pellis worked that third period very well up top.
Real well. Tough match.
At 171 pounds.
They're both tired now. Oh, there he is. See, they got him looking good with the triple headset on.
Look at both of those, and now you ask yourselves at home, how could this man actually win an award?
180 pounds for Dow, Nate Brink for Midland, Steve Taylor.
Well, you can find that out by becoming a volunteer here at MCTV. Let me tell you about our next session. What a seg. Midland's only television station, by the way. We're making this cablecast possible with the help of our award-winning duo headset wearer Bob Granstra and several other MCTV volunteers and staff personnel tonight. If you'd like to become a volunteer, you can come to our next orientation. It takes place Saturday, February 8th at 10 o'clock that morning in MCTV studio. It's located in the first level or basement of the Grace A. Dow Memorial Library. If you'd like some more information on it, there's plenty available at this phone number, 835-5252.
Hey, Dale,
if you need more information.
They complete the class, they can come out and help us with our next multi-camera shoot.
They can't finish it by that hockey game, can they?
No, we have
gymnastics.
Yes.
Wow. Come out and do the gymnastics. What do you mean? If you've got a thought, let's share it. We are at 171 pounds.
No,
that
we're at
weight.
100.
Oh, that revoided that right through that. Dow didn't have anybody to fill the bill.
Aaron Anderson won that one.
By default, void.
Void.
Which, by the way, brought the score to 41-13. The Chemics on top.
I think the void is worth 6, but...
Yes, it is. Same as a pin. It is. So these are...
Steve Taylor and Nate Brink.
Tyler wrestles for Midland High. He's a sophomore. Nate Brink completely owned the wrestler from Pontiac Central. Brink is a senior, and he's wearing the green and gold and working on top. He has a 2-point lead with the takedown.
Just gave the Midland wrestler a warning for stalling. Told him he's got to try to get up and do something. Nate's working on him pretty hard.
The center of gravity, I think, is amazing, especially when you get to a youngster this size. Both are wrestling at 189. That's the end of the first period, and Brink comes away with a 2-0 lead, leading into the second period. Doing a little between period coaching. You got to tie a sneaker, as Steve Taylor going to gain some valuable experience here, taking on the senior Nate Brink from Dow High. Taylor's down, Brink is up. Good explosion to try to get away on the part of Taylor ran, but Brink just kind of rode out with him and was able to bring him down.
Don't explode into one move or 2 moves maybe, you know. There's 3 or 4 moves they could work on. And as a sophomore, he probably doesn't know them all, or has the feel how to work them all into one move, work 4 moves into one move to get out of there.
Right. Tommy Body English Stearns, upper right. He's hollering at his sophomore wrestler, Steve Taylor, as Nate Brink from Dow High continuing to ride him. Our score has not changed since the first period, and the first takedown is 2-0. Nate Brink leads Steve Taylor. And he's finally, does Brink got a hold of a head, and now he's going to try to bend him in half and get him.
The old bow and arrow.
Cross face to try to get him to his back. Everybody's looking for daylight under that arm. I tell you what, if you want to see people spend energy, come watch these high school wrestling coaches. They've been going like this, Rand, since about 6:15 when those exhibitions began tonight. Every wrestler they've got instructions for, both sides.
Back and forth. Probably get wore out just watching this.
Winding down, second period, less than 10 seconds, 7, 6, 5. Score is Brink 5 and Taylor 0. It's kind of an interesting move. It was Brink's decision.
I think he's bleeding.
This young man, this is Steve Taylor, a sophomore. Coach Tommy Stearns goes over to help him out.
Yeah.
And an injury timeout is about the only way there's a stop in any action. Silence hovers the crowd.
Quiets him down pretty good, didn't it?
It'll be just about this loud at its highest point during that gymnastics meet. We'll be here for. It's a level difference. It's amazing, you know. You go from when Kekison put that shot up with no time on the clock here a couple weeks ago. This place with nothing but energy, and I had this vision of someone on the uneven parallel bars in that same corner of the gym. Everybody's being really quiet.
Real quiet.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Do a triple half gainer now.
Working from underneath, he'll get a point 2 for reversal, and that's part of the point system the coach Rick Berger spoke about. Brink started on the bottom, chose the bottom, looking for points for an escape, and he's extended his lead 7-0. Steve Taylor, after the brief timeout to check out the blood from around the mouth area, Taylor working now to get from underneath this pile. Brink goes to tie it up.
He's doing a good job against a real aggressive wrestler.
Yes, he is. And again, Randy, you're talking about a first-year wrestler here at the varsity level in Steve Taylor from Midland High versus Nate Brink, one of the senior leaders for the Chargers. So now right on a minute to wrestle in the match at 189 pounds. We've got one match remaining for you, and it's the heavies. Both wrestlers stalling, so rather than again give them a warning.
That's the second stall for the guy for Midland. So Dow gets a point. Got a cut lip there. They don't want any blood at all on that mat anymore, do they?
No. It used to not be a match until it was
blood
history when you were doing it. What years you wrestle, bud?
1842.
Well, that explains it. You guys didn't even use mats then. They didn't.
Well, we had lions and stuff too, though.
I had this vision of Rome just for a second. 48, 47, 45 seconds to wrestle in the match at 189 pounds with a little vengeance. The young sophomore Steve Taylor is not going to give it up. Continues to battle Nate Brink, and Brink has been riding the top most of the evening. Tell you what, we should probably pay a little extra attention to, and brought up personally the assistant coaches for both these. But for Midland High, Tommy Stearns in his 3rd year says, make sure you say something about Tom Marquis. Marquis has been with the Midland High program at some level or another for several years, and the right-hand man goes not quite far enough to explain the help that Marquis adds to the Midland program. Battling hard with Steve Taylor. He came away a loser after an 8-0 point margin had been applied. Nate Brink, the winner from H.H. Dow High School.
Gave up a good, he put up a good battle.
For Midland, Steve Lau.
Now we're moving to the heavies. A pair of seniors, Steve Lau wrestles for the Chemics. And Barry Sheets, in his 4th day of practice, requires a match, and Barry just moved to town. You got a chance to see him a little earlier in the match against Pontiac Central. Sheets is from Monroe, Michigan, and has been in town for about a week with his wrestling gear on. The two seniors go at it, Lau and Sheets. Riding high is Lau. He tried to get a leg. He's trying to wrap up Sheets' arms. Sheets rolls. Rolling the Sheets. And Lau continues to ride him.
Lau had a good match against the Pontiac.
Yes, he did.
They went back and forth, and he ended up pinning the Pontiac kid. That was a good match, boy. The people were screaming then.
You've seen our coaches. Rick Berger there in the background of that shot behind the official. You see Lau working on top, the heavyweights. Assistant coach there for the Chargers. Lau's going to put a wrap on it. He's got Sheets trying anything for a bridge and to spread out those arms, trying to keep his base wide. He's got 15, 14, 13 seconds remaining first period of the heavyweight. And Lau looks at the clock and does nothing but try to apply all of the heavyweight he has into it. Little light, the buzzer. Whew. Steve looks over towards, up towards here, shakes his head no, like, my, I thought I had it. So
Sheets picks up. He's going to go up, be the aggressor here for a while.
Just going to say, because they came to Lau first. He deferred, which gave, for the start of the period anyway, it gave Lau the decision, or Sheets the decision, and Sheets will ride on top. He trails in the score 5-0, and team scores are as follow after a couple of voids throughout and 11 matches in. 41-17. The Chemics are going to walk away with a pair of team victories tonight at Midland High School in the triangular meet.
Barry seems to be doing a good job up on top. I think you got to work a little bit. He's only been here 4 days, been on it for 4 days.
Well, he spent the first 2 minutes of that first period underneath. He needed a breather and an offensive start at least, and the defer to him may have paid off. A nice bridge called over, and that's going to be a
reversal,
3-point near fall and a 2-point reversal, making our score 7-3. A near fall had been awarded to Sheets. A pin for Lau. 15 seconds after having nearly been fouled. Steve Lau turns it around, and the senior rolls around and puts a pin on.
That's what he did in the last match, too.
It's like you're really getting frustrated. If you're near falling, you can turn around and end it and take all questions. Our final team tally. The Midland Chemics 53, the Dow Chargers 17. In a triangular meet that saw these two schools congratulating each other here. Both take on Pontiac Central, and Randy, again, we've had an opportunity to show a part of high school athletics that a lot of folks aren't that familiar with, only in the sense that it's not the big draw. They don't have the community stadium packed with 10,000 people all at once. These are the types of sports that maybe a lot of folks don't have an opportunity to get out and see, and we're just glad to be able to bring them this type of competition into their home.
Yeah, they gives a little different view, you know, team sport wise, how good a condition these kids are in. It's not for everybody. Wrestling isn't. It really helps. I mean, if you're not doing nothing during if you play football or baseball and you're not doing nothing during the winter months, wrestling's a great way to get in shape for either one of those activities. I'd like to see more kids come out to it. I mean, you see 3 or 4 voids in them. You know, 170 pounds. There's got to be, what, 200 kids out there that weigh 200 pounds at the high school level that,
right,
you know, 160 pounds wouldn't have to come out and do nothing and learn something. Great self-defense, anything. I mean, once you learn it and learn your balance points, you know that the rest of your life.
I think you brought up a fact, and we'll touch on it quickly, is the dedication and conditioning that this sport takes. And as an example, and I'll use Coach Zabos from Pontiac Central's example, a kid coming up, they weighed in before they climbed on the bus. They got on the bus, kid makes weight, so they drive to Midland. In the meantime, he catches a little snack in the back of the bus, goes to weigh in here for tonight's meet, and he's over. He says, Coach, I can't wrestle, I'm over. Coach says, you weighed in at home, you're wrestling. He says, you got a half an hour for match time, you be doing some running.
Yeah.
So the youngster goes out to the halls of Midland High School after his snack ride from Pontiac, goes out and runs for a half an hour, comes and weighs himself again, and he's made weight. So you see the 6 minutes of duration that it takes and the dedication to hang in for 6 minutes. To get to that 6 minutes in the bus ride here, you can't eat. You can't. Mom picks a great Sunday meal. You try to make weight. Sorry, Mom, I got a match Tuesday, and I'm 3 over right now, and I got to sweat for a day to get that done. It's a commitment. It really is. So I guess if anything, if you've not wrestled or been to a match, see this and appreciate the dedication that these youngsters are putting in before the holidays begin and well into the spring activities and spring sports like track and baseball and whatever. But these wrestlers are a breed that are a little bit different, and it takes a little bit of a different mindset, I think, to be one of these types of athletes.
Have to eat Jell-O for 6 months.
And say it really tastes good. So what are you thinking about?
Let's go home.
Let's go home. We're wrapping it up, eh?
Okay.
There he is. Lost your headsets.
Yeah.
Rand says it's snowing, so we're going to need to get out of here. Okay, here it was. Finals in the triangular match at Midland High School. It was Pontiac Central over Dow, 51-19. It was Midland High over Pontiac, 59-12. And it was Midland High over Dow High, 53-17. So Pontiac splits, Midland sweeps a pair, Dow loses a pair. And they're about 2 weeks away from individual and team activities at the state level. So we've got hockey next Wednesday. We'll be over there live. Of course, you'll be seeing that rebroadcast so many times after Wednesday, but that'll be a packed house. If you get a chance to buy tickets, go see it. That's where the energy is. My name's Dale Robbins. This is Randy Boynton. Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome.
Again,
Thank you.
Bob Cuthbert, Bob Granstra, Ron Brown, Jason Harper. Who are the other two? Nate Thelma, and Roseanne. That's right. Staff. We brought the staff out. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you in a week. So long.
for Midland, Steve Taylor. And at heavyweight for Dow, Barry Sheets. For Midland, Steve Lau.
Well, there you have it, the matchup between the Chemics and the Chargers. And Pontiac Central has now caught a bus home.
They're gonna have a long ride. She's snowing out there, buddy.
Is it really?
Yeah.
The final, after Pontiac Central owned the Chargers by a 51-19 tally, they then took on the Chemics, and the Chemics came right back and sent them home with a loss and a win. 59-12, the Chemics beat the Chiefs from Pontiac Central. So the triangular match wraps up here. It's the Chemics and the Chargers. 103 was voided by Midland. 6 points go to Jamie Berger and the Dow staff. And now we move on to the 112-pound weight division. In the green and gold from Dow High School is Aaron Yardley. Aaron's a sophomore. And Matt Marshall is wrestling for Midland High. He too is a sophomore. Here in the first wrestled match between these two clubs.
Someone's going to have to explain to me why they flip a coin before a wrestling
It's a wooden cookie.
It's a wooden cookie?
Yeah,
Whoever
Ron and I
wins?
decided.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, flip for cookies.